up in the morning edition, the House of Assembly wraps up its fiscal strategy report. C.W. Sawyer teachers protest, and there was lots to be made at the True True Bahamian Festival. Carpe diem, it's a brand new day. Let's seize the moment. Good morning and welcome to the Morning Edition. I'm LaDawn Davis. And joining us live here on the Morning Edition to tell us how things are shaping up weather-wise is Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Good morning, Basil.
Good morning, LaDawn. We'll get you started with our Zadness Tower Cam, which is showing near clear skies on this gorgeous Thursday morning as an area of high pressure continues to suppress cloud development around the islands. As we go to our satellite picture, you can see one or two little puffy clouds being advected from east to west across the islands, but outside of our studios, we have a few clouds, temperatures 70 degrees, relative humidity 68%, east-northeast winds at 6 miles per hour, your barometric pressure 1,019.7 millibars, that's 30.13 inches, and it is steady. Temperatures around the islands this morning, they cool 68 in Marsh, Harb Abaco, also Green Toll Key and Freeport in Grand Bahama, in the Berry Islands 72 also in Alistown, Bimini, 72 in Harbour Island, Roxanne, Luttra, and Otterstown, Cat Island. Staniel Key, 71. Kemps Bay, St. Andrews, also 71 degrees. In Fresh Creek, 70 degrees. We're picking up 72s in San Salvador and Rum Key as we take you into Crocodile. Gets a little warmer at 74 degrees. Also Clarencetown, Long Island, and Ragged Island, 74. Ackland, 72. Betsy Bay, Megwana, 72 degrees. Inagua at 73. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 75 degrees. Your boating forecast for today for all areas, northeast to east winds, 12 to 18 knots. The wave heights, they're going to be around 3 to 6 feet over the ocean. High tide 8:44 this morning, low tide at 3:07 in the afternoon. And that's going to do it for your first look at weather, the Morning Edition. Stay tuned. Your forecast for today and tonight is still ahead.
Thanks a lot, Basil. Meanwhile, our Vaughn Albury is standing by with traffic police to take a look at what's happening on our streets this morning. Hello, Vaughn.
Thanks, LaDawn. We're here at the Paradise Island Bridge. In fact, the old Paradise Island Bridge on the eastern side. And along this road, going to Paradise Island and coming back, thousands of people use it, along with joggers, walkers, and the thousands who work here at Atlantis. Now, earlier this week, there was a report that a person was walking along the Paradise Island Bridge and they got robbed at about 4 a.m. in the morning. That person was taken into a car, made to go to an ATM and withdraw money. And then the persons who took him released him along the street. Thankfully, that man is safe. So with me is Sergeant Jerome Thompson of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Continue to hammer the message about when walking about early in the morning.
Good morning to you. Good morning, Bahamas. When you're walking about in the morning, you got to ensure your safety first and foremost. I know you want to get that exercise in early, but you have to try to do it in a safe manner. Protect yourself.
Visible clothing, lighting.
Yes, we encourage persons to wear light clothing, such as bright colors, orange, white, or the fluorescent green.
Back to the person who anything they could do to alert others to be safe, because he was walking alone and taken into a car.
Well, that was a terrible thing that happened. I guess police visibility needs to be heightened in this area to protect our walkers and persons who are exercising in the morning.
Now, what was traffic like? Any reports overnight?
Overnight, we had a total of 8 accidents in the last 24 hours, which is very good.
That sounds good. But in fact, I must tell you, as we were coming here, we were driving east along, my cameraman Lyndon Smith and I, we were driving east along Dowswell Street when a car darted out. I mean, in fact, sped across the intersection of Dowswell and Armstrong Street. Had we been there just 2 seconds, no, not even 2 seconds, we would have been in a serious accident. My wife always says, she says, Bahamian people don't stop. Stop means stop. What do you say?
I agree with you and your wife. Stop means stop. Persons, they, like I said earlier this week, they have a big appetite for lawlessness. And like I said, our enforcement efforts are being stepped up. We had a very productive speed check yesterday evening on the JFK corridor.
Wow, thankfully I wasn't there because we're not all. I sometimes just roll along rather than stopping. So guess what? Just do your part in making the Bahamas safe. Back to you in the studio, LaDawn.
Thanks a lot, Juan. Now on to our top story this morning. House members wrapped up debate Wednesday evening on a resolution approving the fiscal strategy report. Deputy Prime Minister and Finance Minister, the Honorable Peter Turnquest, said the report will enhance the overall fiscal governance of this country. He also responded to comments from Angliston MP Glenys Hanna Martin, who suggested that the debate was a waste of parliamentary time and that revenue from the government is underperforming.
That's very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, because again, as we said in the beginning, the failure to plan is a plan to fail. There's no magic here. If you don't have the money, then it is very difficult to spend it. And that is why we are so intent on first having laid and passed the fiscal responsibility bill to ensure that we don't do the kinds of things we've done in the past, to spend money that we do not have. And why we are so focused on the fiscal strategy report.
Early on Wednesday, many parents of students at the C.W. Sawyer Primary School staged a mild protest over the ongoing mold saga. Officials from the Ministry of Education, Teachers Union, and other government stakeholders are working together to address the issue. I visited the school myself yesterday. Here's that report. When ZNS News arrived here at the C.W. Sawyer Primary School on Wednesday morning, we met dozens of parents holding placards in hand in protest of an alleged mold issue at this school. Now, a few of them we spoke to say enough is enough.
We just need our kids to be in a safe and healthy environment, because this is really not healthy for the teachers, nor for the kids. Administrators, it's just not safe.
My concern is the health issue, first of all, and safety. We had a meeting yesterday with the officials from education, right? And I'm just not buying what they're saying.
President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Belinda Wilson, held a meeting with teachers on the school's campus before telling ZNS News that education, environmental health officials were on the ground conducting a walkabout and an assessment of the building. She says she is deeply concerned about the well-being of teachers and students and remains hopeful that the matter would be dealt with.
I believe that everyone has a right to come to work in a safe and a clean and healthy environment.
Amen.
The parents are here and we are happy to have them because we want the parents to be a part of the agitation and the advocacy for better working conditions and better learning conditions for their children.
Meanwhile, ZNS News contacted Acting Director of Education Marcellus Taylor, who confirmed to ZNS News that they are aware of the matter. He says the district superintendent met with teachers and the matter was reported to the Department of Environmental Health. He also noted that health teams are on the ground and they await a report. Meanwhile, the BUT president says environmental health officials are expected to present a report of their findings sometime today. Following that demonstration, the Ministry of Education announced in a statement that the C.W. Sawyer Primary School will be closed today and tomorrow. Teachers are asked to report to the Ministry of Education's Learning Resources section during normal school hours. In a statement, the Ministry of Social Services and Urban Development is advising the general public that a 17-year-old resident absconded from the Ranfurly Home for Children on Tuesday, February the 5th. Officials at the children's home have reported the matter to the Royal Bahamas Police Force and are assisting police with their investigations. Family members of the resident have also been notified. In other news this morning, the Honorable Frankie Campbell, Minister of Social Services and Urban Development, has welcomed newly appointed Parliamentary Secretary Michael Folks into what he termed the social services family. Minister Campbell said both he and Folks are committed to the work of the government in the best interests of the Bahamian people. Now, according to Minister Campbell, officials at the ministry will rely heavily on Folks' many strengths to assist and guide the government's commitment to key pieces of legislation as to relate to the ministry. Stay close. We've got more news right after this. You're watching The Morning Edition.
It's time to get some love from your bank. Make your 2019 financial resolutions a reality by getting up close and personal with your friends at Fidelity. Make it a date with free financial planning, debt consolidation, and an ASU savings account. Plus, discounted fees and a chance to enter to win exciting prizes like all-inclusive weekend getaways or dinner for two. Terms and conditions apply. Fidelity, we're good for you. 12 schools, 5 islands, 1 big stage. The Music Project presents the 3rd annual High School Pop Band Competition, Saturday, February 16th at the Botanical Gardens. Come witness the nation's hottest high school bands from Exuma, Andros, Grand Bahama, Bimini, and New Providence in fierce, high-energy competition with special performances by some of the Bahamas' leading entertainers. Gates open at 12 noon and the competition kicks off at 2 p.m. sharp. Tickets are available at Airbrush Junkies and all participating schools.
Together, they engage in a range of activities which may seem simple, but have the potential to give Sophonia the head start she needs.
In terms of this program, yes, it's going on in some islands across the Caribbean, but on the wider level, clearly, how important is that whole issue of the early childhood development?
February 2nd was celebrated as Wetlands Day internationally, but for Bahamas National Trust's Executive Director Eric Carey, the celebration went sour when he was asked by neighbors to investigate flooding caused by wetland destruction. Mr. Carey joins us live here on the Morning Edition. Mr. Carey, welcome to the Morning Edition.
It's good to be here. Thank you for having us.
Talk to us a little bit about wetlands.
Well, wetlands are so critical to our existence. They are the lifeblood, really, of the coral reefs. They're lifeblood for birds, they're fish nurseries, so important for our marine environment. And of course, inland wetlands are critically important, especially for birds. They're also critically important because they act as natural sponges. That is where, when it floods, when it's raining, whether in heavy rain events or going to storms, that's where the water flows. They are naturally low areas, almost basins. So they're critically important for human health, for human relief, but also for the natural environment.
Are they protected by the trust?
So, of course, some are protected within national parks, and others are protected by legislation. It's illegal to fill in wetlands indiscriminately without permits. Mm-hmm. And so, when we've been really fighting, I mean, from way back when Earl DeVoe was Minister of Agriculture, he started a National Creek and Wetland Restoration Initiative. We talked about drawing a red line around the existing wetlands that exist, the remaining wetlands that exist, so that they could be protected, because they're so important. And every day throughout the country we get calls, wetlands are being destroyed, and then we have resultant flooding, or we have loss of the viability of ecosystems, and people wonder why it's happening. You destroy these natural systems, you're going to end up with problems.
So how are these permits, I guess, issued to developers?
Well, it's interesting, when I became aware of this one, I've been watching this because I actually live close to the area, and I've seen it for a couple of months happening, and I knew that once this rain event happened, neighbors were going to be inconvenienced. And true to form, Saturday morning, the road was impassable. Neighbors were outside complaining. They saw me passing. They all stopped and attacked and said, look, you need to do something about this. Of course, I am impacted because I do live in the area, but the people directly opposite were really impacted by this. And when we looked, there is a permit issued. So a government department has actually permitted the destruction of this wetland. And the question is, how does this happen? How do we not look at these areas and determine that an area is not appropriate for development? So they're going to fill this in, probably up a foot higher than the road. The road is going to be impacted and impassable. It's going to be destroyed. Who should pay for that infrastructure damage? Neighbors' homes are going to be flooded. Should there be a cost to that developer for doing that? And is the government responsible? So there are a lot of questions that something like this brings out. I mean, I've written to the Director of Physical Planning, and I've sent sent a copy to the Ministry of Environment, and I'd like to see some movement on this. I'd like to see a discussion. I don't know what happens in this case, but I don't think a developer should be allowed by permit or otherwise to destroy or impact on the neighbor's property without some repercussion, or certainly impact a public infrastructure like a road. I mean, there were cars that couldn't pass. That's how deep the water was. And that was a short, relatively short rain event. Imagine if you have a tropical storm, what's going to happen? Those neighbors' homes are likely going to be flooded, because when you destroy a wetland in an area, you've taken away the capacity to absorb water. That water is going to go somewhere. It's going to go in somebody's house. It's going to go all over the road. It's going to go over BTC's property, which is next door. So these are questions that, as a country, we need to start having these discussions. And it's not happening, not only happening here in Nassau. You travel throughout the Family Islands, and you see it happening. And this is happening against the backdrop that the Bahamas is a signatory to the Ramsar Convention, which protects wetlands internationally, which celebrated World Wetlands Day on Saturday. And also, we have a national wetlands policy. So I'm going to be talking also to the BEST Commission. I've sent a note to my good friend, the new director, Rochelle Nouveau. She actually drafted the wetlands policy. So I'm
and
sure.
How successful can you say, I guess, a national trust has been in the wetlands?
Well, we've gotten a lot of wetlands protected. You know, large areas as Andros, Bonefish Pond, Harlan Wilson Pond on this island, in Abaco, the Marls of Abaco are protected. In Auckland, we have wetlands protected. So the Inagua National Park, absolutely. Grand Bahama, lots of wetlands protected in the national parks, and those are safe. But there are lots of areas outside of parks, and that's where national planning and development is important. Because yes, you can protect a lot of things in national parks, but you still have to have a policy, program, strategies that ensure that outside of the national parks there's still sensible development so that people aren't impacted and the environment is still able to function.
And which area was that you were investigating in?
This was Papal Track. This was Papal Track, just opposite the BTC compound. And yesterday a neighbor contacted me and she said she's going to lead a neighborhood movement because people, they get inconvenienced like that and they want answers. So they reached out, and so we're going to do what we can to see if we can bring attention to it. I don't know what relief we'll be able to bring in this instance. We will try and reach out to the developer as well to have a discussion with them. We need to resolve this.
Eric Carey, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning
Always
Edition,
good to be here.
and continue to investigate.
Good, thank you. Thanks for having us.
This past weekend, the popular True True Bahamian Festival seemed to be very successful for over 80 vendors who participated. Several of them spoke with our Desmond Saunders.
Every year, the True True Bahamian Festival provides unique opportunities for local entrepreneurs to showcase their products. It's an event that the owner of Bahama Island Farms, Natasha Adderley, looks forward to. Adderley, who harvests locally grown products, credits part of her success to this festival. What's even more gratifying for her is the increased support and visibility Bahamians have shown for locally grown items.
Bahamians have changed in that they're not so willing to buy some things that are ready to eat. They want to buy things that they can add value to, that is more sustainable. For instance, the plants have gone very well. You have people who, for instance, we have some lettuce there, and with the lettuce, we have like tons of lettuce in that one pot. That's at a reasonable price.
Event coordinator and representative from the Bahamas Hotel and Tourism Organization, Suzanne Patouche, believes the event provides the impetus and fuel businesses need to thrive. She's happy that the event is achieving a larger objective, growing the local economy.
BHTA is very, very active in trying to promote something called local sourcing, encouraging our hotels, etc., to buy Bahamian. So, you want to make sure that the jam on the table in that restaurant is a Bahamian-made jam. We'd like to see if there's decor around. We want to see ambrosia or the shells. We want to see the Bahamian spices on the table as opposed to foreign Tetley's tea or something like this, or A1 sauce. We want to make it so that these entrepreneurs and the money that is being earned is retained here in the Bahamas.
From mouth-watering native dishes, scented candles, naturally organic food, to exotic nature paintings, there were a variety of offerings for the young, old, and adventurous.
It's going along well, but it's always the constant need to educate and make the public aware of where the products are available and how the products are actually harvested and made.
This is our first year here, so business has been going well. Everyone's, shocked and surprised to see it, so we like it.
It's my second time here at the True Bahamian Festival, and it's really true Bahamian. And so I love it, man. It's a lot of fun, family activities going on, a lot of Bahamian food and other stuff like that, and plenty of the entertainment. It's really good.
A lot of people are really amazed by my artwork, and I'm just really happy when people smile at my work. It really makes me happy,
Yeah. She's been doing a great job. I'm surprised and proud of her, obviously. She's 15 years old, and she's just taken a passion to art.
Event organizers say next year's event will be bigger and better. New and returning entrepreneurs can look forward to accumulating more funds. Desmond Saunders, ZNS News.
Especially, it looks like we missed some great food over there at the True Bahamian Festival.
No, I didn't miss anything, because as you can see, I'm on a very strict diet on drinks and food. I'm getting set for a big day, so need to get into that suit. So, on a serious diet.
What's coming up in sports?
Coming up in sports, we have one of the country's great baseball players in the studio today. He's going to join us and tell us what's ahead for him. Also, last night was a big night for basketball in the GSSA, a new champion crowned in the senior boys.
That and more ahead in sports.
I lived in fear for my life. I lived in fear for my children. I lived in fear of how I'd provide for them. I thought that he would change when he promised he would, and I forgave him every time he said that he was sorry. I became devalued as a human being until one day I ceased to exist as one.
Let's talk. Call the Bahamas Crisis Center's free 24-hour hotline at 328-0922. Sometimes a conversation can change a life.
1540 AM, 104.5 FM plays all the Bahamian hits.
Just call my name, 'cause love is patient and understanding.
All the hits, one station. The Bahamas is moving to the music. Music that makes you feel good.
The scent of your skin is intoxicating.
Home of the #1 Bahamian music beat, 1540 AM, 104.5 FM, the People Station.
Hey y'all, what's up?
Hey, what's that?
What y'all getting?
Listen, I've been waiting to march down some lobster, yeah?
Hi, I'm Matthew. I will be you guys waited today. Can I take your order?
Oh, I've been queuing for some grouper dread.
Y'all see this?
See, this ain't gonna work.
Where the fish gone, though?
But how though?
Don't leave our children with no fish in their future. Protect our sea. Protect our way of life. Protect the Bahamas. To learn how you can help, find us on Facebook at Bahamas Protected. See the future.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sports Thursday. I'm Charles Fisher. Last night, Government School Basketball Championships. You'll have all those highlights coming up for you in the 7 o'clock edition of Sports. For joining us in studio this morning, really know this guy. He's very famous. Lucius Fox. A few years ago, he inked a minor league contract with the San Francisco Giants, but now he's playing with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And next week, he reports to spring training camp. First of all, congratulations, Lucius, and welcome to the morning edition.
Thank you. Thanks.
How have you been? You got that invite now to the Tampa Bay spring training over there in Tampa. How you been working out, preparing for that?
Every day, twice a day. Once I got the good news, just been putting in the time. I know what I need to work on, what I need to improve on, and I'm willing to show them that I made the necessary, adjustments this offseason going into the upcoming year. and I can't wait to show it.
Well, last year you had a pretty good season with Montgomery. You made the All-Star team, the international squad. How is that going to help you now as you look to make that big jump to the next level?
Just build off that. You know, all the positives, we're going to build off the positives and correct the negatives. You know, just every day working on my craft, getting to the field early, you know, before others, leaving later than others, you know, putting in that extra time is going to pay off.
We were talking off studio a few minutes ago when you guys played in North Carolina, the Babe Ruth World Series a few years ago. You won it for the 2-4-2 celebration. We're ready for you to win the World Series now.
Yeah, everything is for the 2-4-2, man. You know, this country made me, and I'm willing to give back everything. Everything I have is for the Bahamas. I play for the Bahamas, and everybody know I'm from the Bahamas when I'm playing abroad.
We're talking about the Bahamas. That Don't Blink, boy, I watch online. You got over 1 million hits. That is really catching on.
Yeah, we're thankful for the support of the Bahamian people. You know, our whole goal was to do something for the people back home that don't have a chance to watch us play. You know, the home run derby is exciting and everyone enjoyed it, but we couldn't have done it without the support of our people.
When do we head out now for spring training?
I leave on Friday the 15th, and I'll report in Port Charlotte on the 16th. Physicals on the 17th, and we get rolling on the 18th.
Okay, and you have a presentation also of your younger brother here, a future minor league baseball player, your Uncle Sonny. You want to make a presentation to the morning edition. Come on, youngster. Come on.
On behalf of the family, you know, we want to present you guys with this, you know, token of our appreciation for supporting us always. This is a Rays t-shirt and a signed Lucius Fox baseball.
Well, I'm feeling good today.
See you, Jay.
See, Don, you see why I was getting in shape? So this Tampa Bay Rays shape. This is Lucius Fox, Uncle Sonny, and younger brother Dante, your future baseball player as well. All right, thanks a lot, Lucius Fox. We'll have much more with Lucius Fox coming up later on today. But wish him well as he head to the Tampa Bay Rays spring training camp over there in Florida.
Hey, have you heard? ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Whether you're on the move or just kicking back. Miss something on the news? It's there. Want to keep up with a live update? It's there. Or just want to listen to your favorite station? It's there too. Download the app now from the App Store and Google Play Store.
Right here, man. Oh, not the cool one.
Busted! Busted! Don't you know you guys are breaking the law by not using your seat belts?
Man, Charlie, man, I'm using my seat belt.
Wrong!
The seat belt is not for opening your alcoholic drink. It is for saving lives. And by the way, for those of you who continue to drink and drive, we're on the lookout for you too.
In our final look at weather, we're going to get you started with our satellite picture. And as you can see, we do have a few clouds being advected from east to west across the islands, particularly in the central and southeastern parts of our country. This forecast for today call for mostly sunny, quite pleasant weather. High temperature around 79 degrees. And tonight is going to be clear to partly cloudy once again, with the low temperature getting down to about 69 degrees. Your extended weather forecast, beautiful weather heading into the weekend with lots of sunshine, and we're keeping those temperatures nice and comfortable for you. 60s during the nighttime, 70s during the daytime. LaDawn?
Thanks, Basil. Well, that's going to do it for the morning edition. Make sure to join us this evening at 6 p.m. for our 2-hour newscast. Once again, I'm LaDawn Davis. Have a great day.